Hi everyone, this is Amit Mishra, and I'm here to talk about networking in conferences, networking in usual places, and how to network if you're just starting off your career. One of the things which I would like to point out before I start the conversation is in my profile description. Uh, the I've changed my organization recently. So the company I was associated with is Inc. 42, which is a startup media portal and not F6S anymore. This webinar was pending for almost a month. So I think the change has not happened on the description side, right? Leaving aside that, there are a few very important things which people should look at when they're starting off, right? One of the key things is whenever you are trying to go meet anyone, or you are planning to start a journey in your career, right? You need to be very focused. You need to do your research, right? The conferences, whenever you go to the conferences, one of the key things is you do your research about the speakers, the agenda, right? Those kind of things, so that you don't miss out on meeting the right kind of folks. That is very important because you will also be able to understand what kind of questions you can ask, right? That gives you a lot of edge compared to anybody else, because you get a little mileage questions. You understood the points which are being discussed. Yeah, so technically, well, you are prepared. The other thing, very important thing is, whenever you go to these conferences, try to will be, in a general sense, there will be a lot of people who probably will feel awkward for the first time, right? When I started going to these events, right? I think like everybody else, I was very awkward. Then I realized that if I'm here, right, I have to utilize my time very well, and I started talking to random people. That built my confidence, and then I went ahead, started reached out to the few speakers, spoke to them, because I was at least well prepared, and asked some relevant questions during my offline discussion. This gave me a lot of opportunities. Got my first consulting project because of my first event, right? Spoke to the right guy, got the right conversation going. In 3 days, I was able to get my first consulting project. It's more about taking that initiative, right? Obviously, for the first time, it makes it is a bit hard to just reach out to people who you don't know, right? Or you can also think that I'm a nobody, right? I'm just starting off my career. What can I offer them, right? But these are things which you will learn over a period of time, right? So you need to just keep at it, and then you keep building on that experience, right? And the first important thing is, whenever you go to these events, don't stand at the corners, right? I've seen a lot of people just because they don't know what to do, they just stand on the corner. It is not only awkward for you, but I think people would understand that the person is confused, and does not see a value to the event. So right, so even if you don't know anyone, uh, just don't stand on the corners, and you will find some people, right, will be have the same experience like you, right? First timers, right? Start talking to them, right? You probably will find you may make good friends while you're doing this. The other important thing which comes to my mind when I did my first event, right, is the most important part when it comes to an event, right, is you need to do certain things which people remind you, right? So uh, one of my close friends, right, he wear a red turban and people know him from that red turban. Somebody I know in US wears orange color sneakers, right? So people remember he has what 21 pairs of orange sneakers, right? So he wear these orange pants, and people remember him. That yeah, that was this guy Dave who wear these orange sneakers, right? So people also remind. Just to give an example, right? This is a visiting card, my visiting card, recent one. This is the one of the smallest card you probably will see, right? And this starts the conversation for me now. Uh, oh wow, nice card, and then the conversation starts at most of the time. So you probably need to find some way where people can remember you, because when you go to these events, there are a lot of people, right? And just sharing cards does not make a real value. So you need to find relevant people. Just probably so the difference between the way I network and most of the people is I try to create conversations with very few people with whom I think that I can add value, and they're relevant connections for me also. So I don't generally go out, start giving visiting cards everywhere, right? It has to be very relevant, right? And these 5, 10, 15 people which I have had a small conversation with, I follow up with them over a mail, right? And then build on it. That's very important, because you can't just start a conversation and leave it, right? If you've spoke to somebody, right, he at least will remember you, and then you can follow up with something. If you thought that there is a consulting project during that conversation which popped up, reach out to that person through a small mail. If you think that there is some way you can help, right? You probably, the guy is looking for a PHP developer, and you know a friend of yours who is a PHP guy looking out or probably can help. Just connect those dots, right? The person will appreciate it, and then you can build on that, leverage that. These are small things which you need to keep doing, so as to keep building your network. One of the important part when you start networking is don't try to sell yourself, hard sell if yourself, because that's what I've realized, right? So people when they go to events, right, some of the observation which I've done is that there are a lot of people who are desperate to just get in the limelight, click a selfie, right? So clicking a selfie with someone and sharing it on Facebook is not going to help you, right? Yeah. So yes, you met this person. That's it. That's it, right. So doesn't make sense. So if you can, if you really want to talk to that guy, be very relevant, right? And see if we can add value. If you have a feedback for a certain product, and even if that guy is a big guy, right? He's the founder of, let's say, a multi-crore company. It doesn't make so you should not feel awkward for that. Just go out, reach to sir, I have a feedback for you, and how can I reach out to you? So if he's really keen, he can talk to you there and then, or he can just probably share his visiting card or possibly your email ID, whatever, right? Very important, right? So you need to make those personal connections so that with a mail, then a LinkedIn request, start following them on Twitter, right? Before the event, if you are an active social media user, I'm assuming most of you are, then you can use Twitter to probably start tweeting about that particular event, that particular person. And then you can see how people are responding to you, and then those conversations can be taken offline, right? So you need to keep doing that. You can even look at so before, you can also go to the event page and start talking about want to achieve, right? And possibly what you can offer. People can start the conversation there. At least you will probably find some people who are people who are possibly looking at the same connections, right? So you can build on those Facebook event page discussions and take them offline, or a Twitter discussion and take them offline, right? So the next part, right? So this next part, important part, is how you introduce yourself is very important, right? So you need to talk about your company. So what we call the elevator pitch, right? So you need to talk about you and your company within a minute, right? And easy enough to remember and understand, right? So you should not start with a huge background on why you're doing this, because that's not a business plan competition where you need to give a background, right? It's a 1 minute pitch, so you have to be very, very precise on what you want to say, right? Accurately explain your company, your role. If you are not the founder of the company, then explain what you do at that particular firm. If you are, let's say, part of entrepreneurship program, if you are part of an organization like ISEC, right? Those kind of things. So you need to tell them that what you do, and if you have certain questions, right, ask them there. They will appreciate that the person is well prepared, right? If you are meeting somebody who is not a speaker, right, and you don't know the person, you can probably start with some basic questions. So, where are you from? The companies, right? Who do you think I should speak to here? Possibly the sessions. Are you looking forward to some sessions, right? So that will give you a perspective. You know, if you are going for first time, right, and the other person has been there, right? He probably know more about what kind of sessions you should attend, right? That'll be give you a fair idea. You can even start asking them that if that person looks has some experience, then you can probably ask them, are there any conferences or events which you know I can attend after that, right? So those are basically your conversation starters, and then you can build on that. The last bit where I think I would like to end and start your questions is whenever you go to an event, right, or going for a meeting or a meetup, go with an agenda, right? So why you want to go there, which are the people you should connect with, right? So that give you a perspective. Second is this: get a LinkedIn app or something which you can at least. So while you are looking at speakers, or you can also, or talking to somebody, you can also search for them, get a background while you're talking to them. It gives you a perspective, right? And you can have you can change the flow of conversation depending on the person you're talking to, right? So that's very important, right? And reach out, right? I think that's more or less covered. There are a few things which I have done, right? And this is beyond the conferences part. I started reaching out to important people in the startup ecosystem, and generally also, and just helping them with certain connects helped me a lot, right? One interesting incident which I would probably like to tell you. So I used to, I still do, whenever I have time, I used to coach people on personal branding, right? And the reason I did that, so personal branding basically is you create whatever you do on offline, right? You kind of try to put in words so that people who are looking at your LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile, or Twitter, right, they are able to understand what you do, and possibly if there is an opportunity, they will connect, right? So the reason I started doing this was that when I was searching myself on LinkedIn, there are 50 Amit Mishras there, and I realized that I'm just lost in the crowd. I need to do something. So I started using my digital marketing skills and starting doing SEO on my LinkedIn profile. And I was for certain keywords, I used to get the maximum people, right? So at one point of time, I was getting a lot of hits for anything to do with India, right? So if you are looking for opening a business, right, I probably will be one of the top 10, 15 guys people will reach out to if you are start trying to identify if you want to move out. And so when I was doing personal branding, most of the people I used to work with were NRIs who wanted to come back to India. And these guys, whenever they were searching for folks, they were able to find me very easily because the SEO was done. The other thing which I did, right, which helped me a lot, was I was getting into conversations in different LinkedIn groups. So and show my domain expertise, right? So if and I was relevant to the conversation. So let's say somebody is asking, how can I go back to India, right? Say that I've been in US for 20 years. I have no connections. I want to switch and go back to India. And this was 2009-10. So I used to give them some pointers what they can do while they're still in US, and then they can plan some and those kind of things. And then that guy and then the other people who were following that conversation will talk to me offline, right? Connect with me, and I was able to build my business during that time, right? So yeah, the funny incident was I also during this period I also connected with a lot of Amit Mishra, right? So same name guys, and there was this event in Lucknow where I was supposed to go, but for some serious challenges, I was not able to make it, right? So this was last minute thing, and the tickets were booked and everything was there. What I actually did was I reached out to another Amit Mishra, right, who was in the recruitment. So I was supposed to talk about recruitment and how things work and placements. This guy it was senior to me, right, and he knew more about. He was a recruitment manager in a company. So I told him that there isn't this opportunity, right? Would you like to go? And he said, so I literally sold that idea to him, and went, spoke to them, right? Because the tickets were booked, right? I really never wanted to waste that opportunity and waste that time which was given to the students. Students were happy, right? I got a good feedback, right? So, but never done that again. But this was an interesting incident, and I never realized that the reason I started this will come to something like this. So interesting things keep happening. So when I was doing this personal branding, I was talking to a lot of guys on Twitter, right, and that built my brand, and a lot of very very influential guys started following me, right? So and then I became, and I think that's mentioned in the description as well. So between 12 and 13, right, 2012 and 13, I was one of the most influential brand experts to be followed on Twitter. These were things which were built over 2-3 years, right? So you need to keep doing certain things, right? Keep iterating. If you're not able to, so think of it like a startup. So you are your startup. When you're doing certain things and you are not able to see a return of time investment, then you need to change a little bit, right, and see if what else you can do while you're trying to do this in the online space. So these are the kind of few things which I think are very important. And so I think I've covered everything. I would be happy to take questions now in terms of if you have certain questions on how to reach out to people, how to probably so certain things which I used to face a challenge with. How should I start the conversation and how should I end the conversation was important, because so I can start with just reaching out, talking to them, introducing myself. And then there is an important part where you have to exit the conversation gracefully, right? So whenever you do that, or I realize that I want to ask a certain favor from that person while you're talking, right? So so the first 2-3 conversations were very awkward because I was too direct. Then I realized that I have to make it a part of the conversation and not that the conversation. So the other person should not feel that I was just talking to them to get a favor. So I think over a period of time, you all will realize how to change the course of conversations and get things done, right? So yeah, please, if you have anyone have questions, you can ask right now. Okay, so I think what you can do is you can reach out to me at my email ID, amit@amitkmishra.com, for anything which you need. Any questions around networking, I would be happy to kind of help you in case you need any connections or probably want to understand more about how to probably create a LinkedIn profile or around personal branding. Feel free to reach out, right? My email ID is amit@amitkmishra.com, and I'm very well available on all the social media platforms. So Amit K. Mishra is my Twitter handle also. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, guys.